Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Tyreman Talks. I'm Richard Wilson, a contributor to the Tyreman. Today's episode takes us to the show floor of the recent TyreXpo Asia exhibition in Singapore, which was held between the 12th and 14th of March at the Marina-based Sands Expo and Convention Centre. Retreading Business editor Michael Hutt was on the ground in Singapore and managed to grab some words with a few of the attendees at the event in the form of Conson Sia, the CEO of Stamford Tyres, Guy Heywood, the Vice President of Hankook Tire Europe, and Lau Den Nee, the Sales Manager of Wegmann Automotive, before catching up with Alwin Seo, the Deputy Event Director for TyreXpo Asia, to review the show. So, why wait any longer? Let's get down to Singapore and let Michael take us on a tour of the show.
So here we are, and welcome to TyreXpo Asia 2025. It's an absolutely bustling hub of activity, the largest floor space they've ever had, a huge number of new manufacturers, new tire manufacturers from China, but also an interesting showing from a number of retreaders and a couple of recycling companies from Europe. Only one US exhibitor as far as I can see. They've traveled quite a way. Over the next couple of days, we're going to interview a few people from the industry, get their thoughts on the show, see how it's gone for them. And we'll also do a bit of a tour around the arena to show you the look and feel and how busy this place is. Anyway, so welcome to TyreXpo 2025. Hey everyone, we're here from TyreXpo Asia with Conson Sia, the Chief Executive Officer of Stamford Tyres. Conson, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on the show this year. Obviously, bigger space, more exhibitors.
Correct.
How are you finding it?
Okay, so far this year, our booth is quite an entrance.
Yeah.
We find it's more crowd than last year in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Okay, and the year before was in Singapore. So there was more crowd, and we were very busy yesterday.
Okay, nice. And the sales is going well.
It's doing well better than what we thought it would be.
Nice. Okay, well that's always good. What specifically are you exhibiting this year?
Okay, this year we are actually focusing on Sumo Forenza Novo, our new passenger car tire. We also this year introduced our battery, Sumo Forenza battery. Okay, then of course our usual lineup of our own proprietary brand of wheels, the SSW, Flowtech, and Diesel.
Right.
So those were the main focus of our display. That's why a lot of people what's the name Stamford Tyres? Stamford Tyres is just at the front, but the brands, one we're featuring this year.
Of course, yeah. And you're selling these brands in which region? Singapore, Malaysia?
So it's primarily for export.
Okay.
And of course, all the subsidiaries that we operate on, the countries, we also sell them domestically ourselves.
Right, okay. So you have a distributor network.
Yeah, we have 9 countries that we operate in.
And have you got many partners coming to visit you today?
Partners, yes, those are the usual partners we have. There are new ones that we get, but new one usually takes time to develop.
Of course, yeah. And is there anything new happening in your business? What's coming up over the next 6 months?
Okay, as everyone will have known, our founder has passed away less than 6 months ago. We are actually reorganizing, and we will definitely go deeper into promoting our own brand. That's one of the strategy. We'll be also setting up more fleet management service in Indonesia. We're setting up a retread plant soon in Makassar.
Oh wow!
To support this fleet management service. Those are the two key initiatives in these few years.
So Indonesia is a key growth market.
Yeah, it's a key growth market, especially with the recent drive by the government to buy locally more, restricting the quotas. So we find that it's best that we go along and support the plan.
Okay.
So we're going to set up a retread plan to save the casing. It's prolong the life.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, because we see a lot of Indonesian companies coming out of Indonesia. Not many companies going into Indonesia.
Because there will be 2 Chinese manufacturers open up there to have more tires, and we find that we have a space to do retreading.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And how big a part is retreading playing in your business at the moment?
It's not that big, but it's a necessary part to do a fleet management service. If you want to sell 1 new tire to second life, then you need to have your own retread plan.
Yeah.
To do that total package service to your clients.
Okay. And that, are you finding that's people are more receptive to that at the moment than maybe 5 years ago?
Yes, they will be more receptive because it's harder to get tire now.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, there are plenty of tires, but with all the quota restrictions in Indonesia, that helps. Okay?
Yeah.
Then at the same time, we do have already existing retread plan in Timika, in Papua, the other side. So we're trying. That one is purely more for earth mover. This one will be truck earth mover.
Okay.
So those were the segment. So we built that with these 2, we will be able to have some support service to our existing clients.
Great. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank
really
you. Thanks for the
appreciate
time.
it. Good afternoon, everyone. We're here at TyreXpo Asia with Guy Heywood of Hankook Tires. Guy, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
It's great to see you here. It's great to see you in the Asian market. What's going on with you at TyreXpo at the moment?
Well, it's a rare opportunity, to be honest, because I do quite a lot of presentations around Europe, but it's the first time I've ever stepped out of Europe into Asia.
Nice.
I was specifically asked to do this by the company, and also I was invited by the organizers because I guess they've seen some of the presentations I've made elsewhere in the world. The reality is that if you look at the mobility industry, it's a period of revolution happening. It's been evolutionary for the last 150 years, gradual change in vehicles, gradual change in tires, but we're now seeing an explosion in innovation, explosion of technologies, and that means that the pace of change is significantly accelerated. So the kind of developments we're going to see in tires, the kind of innovations we're going to see in tires, is going to be quite remarkable in the next 4 or 5 years in comparison to probably what we've seen in the last 100 years.
Right.
And it's happening right here in Asia. So it's one of the reasons why I was quite keen to come to see what our competitors are doing, but also to get the chance to explain the views that I've built up, if you like, in the last 30 years in the industry, to try and share those observations, if you like, with other people that are interested in the mobility industry. So that's really why I came along here today.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, I know Hankook is no stranger to innovation and doing, sustainability and stuff like that. So it's great to actually see someone of your caliber talking at a show like this.
Yeah. Well, it's, as I mentioned, it's a very exciting time, and I wish I was a little bit younger. I've been around in the industry for 30 years now, but if you're a young person in the mobility industry or the tire industry, I don't think there's ever been a more exciting time. The technologies available to tire manufacturers are advancing very, very quickly, and that means that the performance of tires is now making a huge advancement. You see the improvements being much more than we saw even when radialization happened, and that was 80 years ago, and that was probably the last big innovation we had in our industry. Now, by using and leveraging things like AI, 3D printing, new material science, we're able to make 20% improvement in multiple areas of tire performance. So, I think the future is really exciting for tires. And if you are a company like Hankook that is ambitious to be future relevant in the next 5-10 years in that new mobility environment, then it's an exciting time to be in that company, because you're going to see a lot of change, a lot of opportunity.
And we're through with my retreading hat on. Where do you see retreading kind of fitting into this future of tires? Because again, you look at this show, there's not that much retreading going on here.
No, you're fortunate actually, because I've spent a good chunk of my career in retreading. I used to be a factory manager for a small French manufacturer making retreads in the UK. So retread is in my heart, and I still think retread has a place to play in the new ecosystem for mobility, mainly because the adoption rate for new vehicles is quite slow. We're seeing levels of around 5% of EVs or non-diesel engine commercial vehicles in Europe registered last year. That means that we're going to have a lot of vehicles on the road for the next probably 30, 40 years, which are going to be ICE powered vehicles, those vehicles, to get them decarbonized, the best way to do it is to put a premium tyre on the vehicle that does deliver good fuel efficiency, but also to regroup that tyre to make sure that you elongate the life of the tyre at its stage when it's at its most fuel efficient, because people don't realize this, but tyres are their most fuel efficient when they're fully worn. If you extend that through regrooving, you can improve the mileage, but also significantly reduce the fuel efficiency or improve the fuel efficiency of the vehicle. And then you can retread that tyre and get a full life back out of the tyre, and then you can regroove that retread and then maybe retread it again. So it's a great way to get all the value out of the tyre, but at the same time, make sure that you have a minimum impact on the environment and you reduce your own personal costs as a haulier and reduce the CO2 that you emit because of the extension during the regroove phase. So retreading has a place to play for Hankook for sure in our future of tyres. We're investing in retreading. We're quite unique in Europe, I think, in doing that. We've got 5 factories making our products today, and we plan to grow those volumes in the years to come, because we see the most efficient way to use our tyres being using a new Hankook, regrooving that Hankook, retreading that Hankook, regrooving the retread, and then maybe retreading again. That's the best way you can get all the value out of your Hankook tyres. So
amazing.
Retread's definitely there in the future for us.
Yeah, I think the more people hear this message, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
And I use an analogy, which is quite an interesting one, that I speak to people and I ask them, if you bought a €500 or £500 or 500 Singaporean dollar bottle of wine, would you leave 40% of the wine on the table and leave the dining table? You're not going to do that. You're going to drink every last drop. You're going to shake it upside down in your wine glass, because you know that all that value of the wine. Unfortunately, today in Europe, if that's representative, 40% of the wine is left in the bottle by most hauliers. That means they're not regrooving the tyre. They're not retreading the tyre. They're not putting the right pressure in the tyre. And they're buying a €500 tyre, and then they're leaving at least 40% of the life on the table and returning that tyre to their distribution partner, not regrooved, not retreaded, and not managed properly, removing it at 6 millimeters, for example, rather than 2 millimeters. So we want in Hankook to make sure that we give our guys and girls that are using Hankook the opportunity to get all the wine out of the bottle. So we're advising them, regroove it, retread it, put the right pressure in it, remove it at 2 millimeters. If you do all of that, there's no cheaper way of running your fleet than fitting Hankook tyres. If you leave 40% in the bottle, then probably shouldn't be investing in premium tyres, in my view. So that's why we do promote retreading, regrooving, and all those things. Perfect. That's our objective. Get the wine out of the bottle.
Get the wine out of the bottle. I like it. On that note, let's say thank you very much for joining us. Okay, welcome back to TyreXpo Asia. I'm here with Den Nee Lau from Wegmann Automotive. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
I am. Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much for coming to talk to us. So I just wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts of the show so far? How has it been? Have you had a positive response?
I think so far this is our 3rd year in the Tyre Expo.
Okay.
So for us, we always try to focus in the Tyre exhibition, where Wegmann Automotive is always positioned to be the leading provider for Tyre services product. Okay. So this kind of exhibition it helps us a lot to get some kind of awareness in the Tyre industry.
Okay. And have you found there's a good level of business being conducted here?
There are some leads that we can develop coming from other countries as well, across the whole region.
Yeah.
So that's a good part to get everyone at the same place.
Right. Okay.
So that's good for us.
And so some good networking across the whole region.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And what's new for you guys in the next 6 months, year? Have you got any new products coming out? Anything launching? Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, for us, one of the main products that we are focusing in is the balancing weights. Okay. But of course, we have also other services product. But so far, last year, we already penetrated to 5 countries in the Asian region. In Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, and also Australia. Perfect. So it's something that we wish to develop further to cover the more countries in the region. So hopefully with this year, with our key product, Hoffman, and also Perfect Equipment. So these are the 2 main products that we have for weights. And hopefully other products under our Alligator brand will come as well.
Okay, so this year's about expansion, going into new markets, breaking new ground.
Definitely.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Appreciate it.
After the show concluded, Michael interviewed Alwin Seo as they discussed the success of the latest iteration of TyreXpo Asia.
So I guess my first question is how was the show for you guys? Was it a success this year?
Yep, the show I think this year was a great success. I think the reason is one of it is that there's a lot of exhibitor growth. I think approximately 20% increase in overall. In terms of the visitor wise, yes, it has also increased as well. We are still trying to tabulate the full numbers, but in short, is that definitely higher than the previous Singapore edition. That's for sure. Other than that, we can actually see a potential growth over here in terms of the visitor numbers.
Yeah, I actually noticed myself that the people, just the sheer number of people there across 3 days was visibly increased. And I don't think there was such a downturn either. So, it was kind of consistently same number of visitors.
Correct.
One thing I found quite interesting, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. So what I did see is a lot of people who were obviously going to the show, going to the exhibition, but then a lot of dinners and stuff like that in the evenings with other suppliers. And I wondered what your thoughts are on that, because for me, it feels like, those are kind of the people that we want to get going to the show next year.
Understand. So definitely there will be a lot of additional events outside from TyreXpo, but with this itself actually proves as a positive feedback for us. That goes to show, right, that number one, Singapore is positioned right in the right place. Second portion is that, right, the people that have attended the after events are also the people that also visited our events as well. So approximately 70 to 80%, of the visitors that came over say that, we have a prior arrangement, which is after the event itself. I think it's really good. That helps us to actually bring more visitors to this event.
Yeah, I think for me, it feels like, it definitely feels like the community does come together, and actually, walking around the show, obviously, it's very apparent that a lot of the exhibitors are Chinese tire manufacturers, but at the same time, I still think it brought a lot of people together from all different areas of the tire industry.
Yes. I think one of the key factors that we will look upon in the next edition is that we will also try to skip some of the more important dates of the ASEAN side of things, which is, for example, Ramadan. We're very close to Ramadan. So this is one part that we need to quickly improve it, because I believe that we can have more visitors from this region in the Middle East, in our friendly neighborhood, which is basically Indonesia, Malaysia. These are part of the regions that we would like to see an increase as well.
Yeah, sure. So if I was to ask you, what were the highlights of the show for you this year?
I think one of the key highlights will be the tire technical seminar. This is something that we have never rolled out before. We always know the upstream technicalities, but we don't know about the downstream technicalities. So this is something that we have put this system in trying it out for just 3 tracks only. And I think the second one that we look at will be the Tire Business Forum. Everybody knows, how to buy and sell tires, but the proper way, the right way, how to do it is also another issue. We are also looking to seek solutions right from I think industry leaders, like you see Guy Heywood from Hankook as well. He have offered solutions, more value propositions, right, in terms of how to position your business in this Asia market.
Great. And I have to say, I caught up with a couple of people who work in the recycling sector who were at the show, and actually they found it extremely beneficial being there. So I think that broadening of the scope, I think, is something that you could look at next year. I think if you can get testimonials from those guys, it might help widen out the kind of the reach.
Totally agree. So I think some of the outreach, right, that we will be focusing on for the next edition or the future editions to come, I think, of course, number one, which what you mentioned is recycling. The other ones that we are looking at will be more on the equipment tool side of things. And the third one, right, that we are looking very closely right now, because due to the uncertainty of the market, which is the retreading portion. Retreading portion is something that is very volatile. If I may put it in this way, I'm not an industry expert, but looking at the future itself, right? I think this can also be one of a sustainable solutions in terms of the tire industry.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was all the questions I had. I think it was great to attend for 3 days. Singapore is obviously an amazing place to go for a tire show. Was there anything else that you'd like to add about the show, or maybe next year? I don't know if you started planning for next year already, that you want to get out to our viewers.
Yes. So I think Bangkok, TyreXpo Bangkok 2025, 2026, sorry. TyreXpo Bangkok 2026. So this edition, right, this is the second edition, and I think this is something that we look at, right, in terms of the emerging market itself. Reason why we position there is because, of course, number one, we are nearer to the emerging markets, which it's easier for them to reach out to, tire manufacturers. The second portion is that, right, because Thailand serves as its purpose, right, as also one of its distribution grounds towards the emerging markets. So, and last but not least is that, right, we rely also strongly on the government support from Rubber Authority of Thailand. And we're also working closely with other, associations, other government institutes, right, to actually push this event forward. So I think with the success of the first edition, the second edition, we are looking at, a bigger growth, but at the same time, right, a wider pool of audiences, right, from Thailand, of course, and from the emerging markets.
Great. Okay. Well, look, I look forward to seeing you in Bangkok next year.
Yes. Looking forward as well. Looking forward, Michael.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Alwin.
Thank you.
And there you have it. That's it for episode 3 of Tyreman Talks. Thank you for watching this latest episode, and we will see you very soon.